Hey, I'm Mike Lemon with Cyber Safe Teen and training the thousands of students that we've trained, the thousands of parents we trained. Probably the number one question we get from parents is what app? What app's the best to help keep my kids safe? But many times it's not really an app, it's actually a device. And so today we're going to be talking to Anne Marie McDonald from Gabb Wireless to really discuss what Gabb is and who it's for and kind of the benefits that parents can see from Gabb. So, Miss Anne Marie, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I love to talk about technology and especially in that safe space. So I appreciate your listeners listening in and for the time I'm here with you.
Well, excellent. I appreciate that. And so, can you kind of give us a background of yourself and how you kind of become very passionate about this and what really Gab is and who it's for?
Absolutely. So it's my passion. First of all, it's at an all-time high because I have four kids myself in that range of 5 to 15. And so I'm in
So
the
you're right in the middle
trenches.
of it.
I'm
Yeah.
in the trenches, and it looks differently for my 5-year-old than it does for my 15-year-old. So I'm constantly trying things, and I'm keeping that dialogue open, and so that's really, I would say, the biggest reason I am here and we're talking about it. But my passion for safe tech started at the age of 9. My dad was elected governor of the good state of Utah, and when that happens at 9 years old, a whole it
World
exposes
changes.
the world changes, and all of a sudden at 9 years old, my dad had a security detail, and I'm the only daughter of five. So there's four brothers, and then I'm in the middle of the five. And so, being the only daughter of Utah's governor, security sat me down and they said, we have to talk about protection and security. And of course, that was before the internet, but that started a whole conversation of making sure we're making responsible choices. So as time went on, my dad served for governor for 11 years. And so constantly we were having the topic of be safe, don't put yourself in a harm's way, look around. You just being in the public eye, you're constantly having to up your game. But interestingly enough, I say that because now with the internet, it's this we face, even though I was a target as a child, it's now just the exact same target because we have the internet. And so
Mhm.
so I've always been passionate about it. My mom started an organization called I Keep Safe. She was a pioneer in the space of cybersecurity. And so it's been an open conversation in my household since I was young, and trying things out and talking about things, the latest and greatest. And so that's really how it started. And then it continues to develop. And as a parent, I really think I couldn't be more passionate about helping parents find their way and making sure that their child has the tools to remain safe, connected, and protected.
Excellent. Excellent. And so, how did you kind of come to be the point where you are with Gab Wireless? What's that story?
So I've always been passionate about, of course, protection, but getting kids off screens. I'm really passionate about skiing, and the founder of Gab came to me and said, "I want to build a program for Gab users where they can be off their phone and do cool stuff like skiing. Can you help me build this?" And so I did. I wanted people out doing cool things, and so I just started to build a program, and just became more and more passionate about Gab and our products. And so here I am now, just talking to parents and helping them give the tools of safe tech through Gabb Wireless.
Excellent. And so, things have really changed over the last few years. And how has Gab kept up with those changes? What changes have you all seen just in the last really few years?
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Being a tech company, you have to be constantly changing and being at the top of your game. And our company is just 2 years old. So we have definitely been along for the ride of being adaptable and understanding the tech industry on how to be safe. Our product started basically by our founder looking for a better option for his child. He had given two iPhones to his daughters, and saw the repercussions, as many of us do and have. And he was dead set to find a safe option for his son, who was 13 at the time. And you've got the flip phone and you have the iPhone, and there was just nothing in between. And
Mhm.
so Stephen W said, I'm going for it and I'm making this safe phone. And so that led him to a deep dive on safe technology. We partnered with ZT, who we have engineered the safest phone in the world. And currently we are America's fastest, largest, and safest network for kids.
Excellent. So so parents who are listening to this can understand this is not an app you put on an iPhone or an Android. This is a standalone device.
It
And kind of
is.
what are the benefits of this when they buy the phone from you, the services from you, correct?
It is. Yes. It's
And
month to month and it's through us. It's around 20 bucks a month for the service and the phone's under 100 bucks. It's very affordable, but you're right, Mike. It's the first phone. It's that tool that parents they don't want to hand over the iPhone. Even with parental controls, there's hiccups, right? There's kids are smart. They get
absolutely.
around things. And so this phone is the perfect first phone because it has only the essentials and none of the junk. It connects, it protects, period.
And I've talked to so many parents who buy $1,000 iPhone or a
Yeah.
$1,000 Android, and they say, "Well, how do I basically dumb this thing down so kids can't do anything on it?" And that's like trying to take a Ferrari and put a governor on it so you only go 55. It's just not made for that. And Gabb obviously is made just for that. So what are some of the benefits of the Gabb wireless phone versus a traditional one?
Sure.
Really, how does it make it easier for parents?
Well, it's easier because it's simple right out of the box. It's just peace of mind. There are no side doors, back doors. Parent orders the phone, it arrives with less than a week. They pull it out of the box, and it's just that easy. They turn it on, everything is loaded and ready, and a child can call, they can text. We have GPS, so if the child leaves the phone at school, the parent can find that phone. Or, for instance, if a child is going to dad's house, it can ping the mom and say, oh, the child has arrived. It's all those essentials, but yet it doesn't have access to Wi-Fi. So a child can't Google what is, such and such. It remains that keeps the parent in control and also empowers the child to be a kid and go and do cool stuff and not having to have the nervousness feeling of, is my child going to talk to someone online that ends up being a predator? Is my child going to get into social media and hide an account from me? It eliminates all of the fear and just adds all peace of mind for the parent.
Yeah. So with traditional smartphones, I mean, even when you have apps, modern apps or different things on there, there are workarounds. There are ways. Apple doesn't give you the really ability to monitor as well as Android. And there's so many different Android devices that it's hard to make sure you're doing everything you can do on there. So there are end up being workarounds in there. But with your phone, there's not going to be a way for them to have a secret Instagram or Snapchat account because they
That's
can't
right.
really even have that, right?
Right. And Mike, it seems like, well, my child would never have a secret account, but I have a 15-year-old. You learn sometimes that kids are smart. You learn you learn the hard way if you're not careful because they just figure things out and in a crazy way. For instance, the app Kindle. Sure, it seems safe, right? Like a parent, they want their child to read, but a child can easily search for um, a topic, oral sex, and pornographic images will come up, right? Um, so it's the great thing about Gabb is it's entirely safe. There's not any way for a child to get into trouble. It's all of our apps are proprietary. They've been built by, like I said, the best of the best, and there's just no way around it.
Excellent. So, like you said, you've got a kind of a range of age of kids. Uh, what would you say if you have a parent of, say, elementary school versus middle school versus high school? Where's your kind of really your superpower to say this is who we can help at the highest level?
Yes. So, it's interesting because kids start to get braces around what, like 9 or 10. And it's like almost when they start to have that conversation, then they want a phone. It's like, it's not even necessarily an age range, it's a maturity. Like my daughter wanted a phone earlier than my boy. Like it's just, you start to see these signs and pick up on these signs. And so once a child starts to ask for it, it's really great that the parent is clued in and they know the plan. And so I would say our phone would be best for that moment when the kid starts to ask, right? And so I have, like I said, children in that target area, that target age range, and I started to notice around 9 and 10, it was time to get them a phone, but I didn't want to give them, of course, the iPhone.
Hmm.
So I around 13. So to answer your question, we can help. Usually it's about 8 to 15 is our real sweet spot because we're not anti-technology. We want a child to graduate. We want child to learn responsible tech habits. That's the whole purpose of the Gabb phone. So that would be, I would, as a parent, that's the best tool to then give them tech in steps, right around that space and time.
Excellent. So you mentioned, calling and texting. Is can anyone call them? Can anyone text them, or is there kind of a barrier up there between that?
So on the phone, anyone can call and text. However, we have a filter that if anything is sent that's pornographic or explicit, the child will never see that text. So that's a
Because we
unique
have
thing to our phone.
excellent. Because we see so many today. We get so many. You got spam through email, spam through
Yeah,
social media, and different things. But the texting spam is really really growing. And
it
so there's
is.
lots of parents who contact me. It's like, how do I stop these texts from coming through? And like, there's, unless you can say only from these people, which really limits some issues in there as well. But then that's a big problem to have.
Yeah, well, you give them a
So
Gabb and our filter system will do it for them.
perfect, perfect. Is there a kind of a parent who you say this is really not for you? We can help you, but it's not going to be the best experience for you. It's kind of a parent you say we're not really for you.
So let me tell you who we are for. We are for the engaged parent. We're for the parent that wants to have an open dialogue with their child, that will say, "Hey, I'm giving you this phone because I love you and I'm trying to teach you healthy habits. I'm giving you this phone so you don't become addicted at age 9. Your mind just can't handle it. I'm giving you this phone so we can continue to have this conversation. So you understand that if you somehow trip upon um, someone you shouldn't be talking to, we discuss that. You learn from it. You grow from it. So that engaged parent really is the person who's going to buy this phone. The person who isn't going to buy this phone is they just really don't care. They give him the
Yeah.
phone when they give him the braces. It's like, you know what? Good luck. Go swim in the ocean.
It's I call them ostrich parents. They give them the
Yeah.
phone, put their head in the sand, and I don't want to hear anything about the bad
Yeah.
stuff. It's going to
Yeah.
be
And
okay.
it's funny because I talk to parents all the time and it's almost as if they don't want to look at it. It doesn't happen, but
Yeah.
it's going to happen. And you can't believe it's happening. But it happens within your household, underneath your roof. You just got to have that open conversation. So when it does happen, and you give them the tools to then handle it. And also, there needs to be a conversation of you don't want them to feel shame. Often when things happen or come up, and they will. I mean, as I said, I'm very passionate about this, but still things come up with my own children. And my biggest goal is that they'll talk to me and they won't feel shame and they'll have the tools to then say, "Hey mom, I saw this, is this okay? Or how do I handle it?" That open conversation creates a learning environment, just like with hygiene, right? So when you teach your child, through puberty, you shower, you use soap. It's like the basics,
Deodorant
right?
is a
Like
good thing. Yeah.
deodorant is not only a good thing, but like you really should apply it, period. It's the same thing with digital devices. It's like you don't just say good luck, we're sending you into the world. It's like, let me teach you how to be successful. It's funny because we as parents, we didn't grow up in this environment. We just didn't. So we're having to learn right alongside them. And I think it's great to say that to your child, to say, I'm learning with you and right alongside, and I'll make mistakes, but the mistake I won't make is for you to be in harm's way by me giving you an unlocked phone, and you not asking me when you have questions. Like I am here for you.
Excellent. Awesome advice. Awesome advice. Yeah. The open communication, I think, is the best way to keep your kids safe. You can, as long as they can come to you, they're going to make
Yeah,
mistakes. They're going to,
they are.
uh, bad things are going to happen, or concerning things are going to happen. But as long as they know, oop, this happened, I'm going to go talk to mom and dad about this. And I'm not worried about totally losing my online life. Worked so many cases where, the kids never told for years they were being exploited because they were afraid to lose their social media.
Yeah.
And that was more important to them than what was happening.
I tell my kids, I promise you, I will not freak out. I will not freak out. Even if you have to say, Mom, don't freak out. This happened. Like
Yeah.
I promise, it's a commitment that I give to them, that they tell me, and inside I'm freaking out and nodding. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. But then I just remember, I'm just so glad they're telling me rather than dealing with it in their room behind closed doors and Googling. Like I'd rather them come to me when things happen, period.
100%. Absolutely. That's great advice. Great advice. Let me, we talked before about a couple of things you all have coming out, and we're going to show one of them here in a second. But one of those things we talked about is music, and music is
Yes.
so important to kids today. And I like music, but I'm not a music head. And when I'm in the car, I'm usually have my headphones in, listening to podcasts more so than music. But I
Cool.
know that so many kids are really into music, and it's such an important part of their life, and you are really trying to help with that. Can you kind of talk about that?
Yes. Well, I'm in the music head category myself. I love music. So we set out to find and to create a completely clean uh, streaming app. And it is not easy because if you look at the top 100, 90, I think currently 92 or 93 of the songs are explicit. And so
Mhm.
it's hard. And we've hired some of the best in the business to help curate this app that kids can listen, and not listen to all the garbage. And parents are just happy that they're listening to good music. So that will launch in August, and we're so excited. It's been a long time coming. Right now, currently on our phones, you can listen to the radio, but this will even be a better solution for parents that just want to hand their child the clean, good kind of music. Kids
Will
love.
this
I mean,
kind of be like kind of like a Spotify for it, or is it
yes,
something that
yes.
okay?
It's
So
it's
they're
it's
going to be
our
able to
own.
select kind of different genres and be able to listen that
Yes.
way.
Yes. And
Excellent.
there's Spotify for kids, and this is the in between, right? Where it's like it's the Spotify teen, it's the Gabb teen tween music, where it's clean, cool, fresh, and on both parties, you don't need to worry about it from the child or parent point of view.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, the second piece here, which I think is very cool, especially for the even younger kids. Let me switch this over, drop this, and throw up this. Yeah, self-producing.
Yes.
Here we go. Is the watch. And, I've got so many people who are like, I don't want to give my child a phone yet, but I want to, if I got to drop them off for practice or whatever, I want to be able to communicate with my kid. And I
Yes.
don't want to give the full-fledged phone yet. And so a watch, I think, is a great way to do it. It looks cool. So many kids are wearing smart watches to begin with, and you can still communicate with your child. Can you give us a little bit of detail about this that's coming out?
Yes. So next month we are launching our Gabb watch, and as you said, it's perfect for the younger kids. I'm going to get my 5-year-old one. I'm a big believer in free range parenting. It's summertime. I want to just send my kids out and just let them have some fun, but I want them to remain connected to me and protected. And this is great because they can just wear it on their wrist. It's month to month, same kind of plan. That it's inexpensive, and you don't necessarily need to have one provider or another. We are the provider. It's inexpensive. It's a perfect solution for families who just want their kids to just go have fun, yet they can call home when they need them to come on home for dinner.
So this is something to where you don't have to have this connected to another phone. This can be on its own
It
a
is on
mobile
its own.
device.
It actually doesn't
Yeah,
even pair. It's an easy way for parents to get in control or get in contact with their child and their child to get in contact with them. That's the only reason. It has a pedometer and all the again, the essentials, but none of the crap.
excellent. Now with this coming out, obviously it says you can use your GPS location, which is very important, and make phone calls. Is there a way if parents want to be able to restrict the numbers that can call or the children can call on the watch?
Yes. So Gabb is all about tech in steps. And so this is the perfect product for 5-year-old or 6, 7, 8, 9 that are just getting used to technology. So it'll be 10 numbers that can call into the watch and 10 numbers that can call out of the watch. So, grandpa and grandma, aunts, uncles can be on the watch, but you won't have some random person calling and the child not knowing how to handle it.
Excellent. Excellent. I think I'm very excited about that, especially I kind of think of it as a pre-phone. You got the first phone, but this is definitely kind of a pre-phone stage. And so let me ask you this: how is the best way for my parents who are watching this, to be able to learn more about Gab and what's right for them, whether it is kind of when the watch comes out very soon, or whether it is the smartphone or the Gab phone?
So go to our website. It's gabbwireless.com. Check out the offerings. We also have another community called gabblife.com. And that inspires kids to live off the screen. We have ambassadors that are really great at their craft, the best surfers and skiers that talk about the importance of being off your phone and actually doing something good with your time. So it's gabblife.com to check out that community and gabbwireless.com to check out our phone, watch, and other products that will help your child through this tech journey.
Excellent, Miss Anne Marie. I appreciate you coming on today, and we'll definitely have you back to keep up to date with what all you were doing.
Absolutely. And I know that your listeners, you have a code for them to save $30 off the phone and also off the watch. So I believe, isn't that Cyber Safe Teen? Is that right, Mike?
Yeah. Yep. All one word, and then we'll drop that in the notes of the post.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.